Hey, good morning, everybody. You are here for the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel morning briefing. It is great to be with you all. I'm going to take one last sip of this delightful, oh, it smells so good, tastes so good. Got to have one more shot here. Oh, my God. That is so good, and it's so great to be with you all here on this beautiful beach in Southern California. Welcome to Surfside, California, where, as you can see back there, it is flat calm. Incidentally, if you see any dorado jumping back there, please let me know. I've got a surf rod right over there waiting for me. My Dawa setup is ready to rock and roll. I'll toss a chrome crocodile on a flathead right here from the beach and catch one of those. I'm being a bit facetious, everybody, but not that much. I mean, it's incredible what we are into here in Southern California and Northern Baja in this month, in this year, and I don't see it ending until we get some wintertime storms, which are way off there in the future. We've got warm water up and down the Baja coast. We've got warm water in Southern California, and it's flushed in all these exotics, and it really is great. First of all, let me tell you that on September the 10th, we're going to be at Bass Pro doing our podcast at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Can't wait to see you all there. Come on out. I'm going to be there about 11 a.m. We can chat. We can, well, really more than anything, I can thank you for lifting us up so high with our soaring statistics. As many as 10,000 people are now watching the morning briefing, thousands every single day. So grateful for that. That is really something that I can't express my gratitude for. Also, on our live show Tuesday night, Joel Shimuzu from Taddy Lures. It doesn't get any better than that. I'm so grateful to have such an outstanding guest on the show. And along with Joe will be Brian Wynn. And Brian is such a knowledgeable guy. We're going to talk Taddy Lures. We're going to talk fishing the iron. You can ask Brian virtually any question and he'll have an answer for you. That is going to be a great show. Live, 7 p.m. Tuesday night on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and then click the notification bell there, and you'll be notified when we have new shows. When we go live, you'll get a notification and you'll be able to join in. Make sure you ask some questions because this is a great opportunity for each and every one of you. All right. Let me start you out south of the border, as I normally do. And I've got to go back to La Bocana just for one moment, because Martin Padilla, if you've been watching the morning briefing, you've seen those black sea bass that he caught. He had great yellowtail fishing down there. But after Martin caught that giant black sea bass on a Daiwa rod that is rated 20 to 40 pounds that he got for free, I think at the Fred Hall show, they were giving those out for a purchase or for some reason. He said, you know what? I'm going to give this to the captain of the boat, the Ponga that I fished on. And my God almighty, guess what happened? Here it is. Another black sea bass on that same rod. The captain, so grateful. Martin doing some wonderful stuff. He'll be on our Amigo trip departing Wednesday night. That's going to be so much fun. Joseph is also going to be there. Joseph Martinez, the guy that caught the 315-pound bluefin tuna up there on board the Endeavor out of Ventura Sport Fishing. We've got a star-studded bunch of folks on that trip, and it's looking very good. Now, let me get to weather here for a moment, because we're going to have some weather on Tuesday and Wednesday. It's going to get windy in some areas out in that bluefin zone. It's going to get a little windy up in the Channel Islands. There's going to be some breeze down south. There's going to be some breeze. It's going to vary depending upon where you find yourself, but there is a little bit of wind coming on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday goes back to beautiful flat calm weather just in time for our Amigo trip. I might have gotten one right finally, that is for sure. How about this guy? He's on the Pacific Queen, and he says, all right, in the next 4 minutes, I will get a bite. I will hook up. If I don't, you get to put me through an unusual hazing treatment. So he didn't get bit, and that's what happened to the poor guy. Man, I'll tell you, that looks funny and brutal at the same time. Some people are suggesting that's exactly what should happen to me for my faulty albacore prediction again this year. I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. You can put a comment in the YouTube channel. Maybe I'll have to do that. Hey, we do have a Relentless charter coming up. It's a 1.5-day trip. That's out of San Diego. Just go to the show description and you can see a list of our charters. Our next Pride trip selling out and then one more Pride trip, both 2-day trips out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. You're going to want to join those. Go to the show description or send me a text, 657-227-6459. Just say, I want the charter schedule, the final trips of the year. But that Relentless day-and-a-half trip should be an absolutely great one. Eddie Leland, again, Captain Eddie Leland in that battle with prostate cancer needs your thoughts and prayers. Today's a very big day for him as he's going to get some more treatment. We are there in spirit with him, as are so many of you. I really appreciate all you're doing. All right, had a long talk with Mike McDaniels, the guy who runs the Sea Adventure 80 out of H&M Landing, and he just returned from a 2.5-day trip with outstanding fishing, 28 guys, limits of flatheads. Most were beautiful grade. I mean, a lot of fish in that 8 to 20 pound range. They had their big one, 35-pound dorado. That is a gorgeous fish, and all these dorado, it has been so impressive to see it, and it's still going on. Hang on, wait till I get to some of the scores that are going on up here in the local waters. But more importantly, Mike shared tackle tips, knowledge, and everything you need to get bit on these fish. Fly line, 30 to 40 pound. Mike said fluorocarbon not necessary. We love ops and fluorocarbon, and I think it's still a good bet, but Mike said it was absolutely not necessary. A few on the surface iron and Colt snipers, but it was the skip jig method. And we've got a video out for you on skipping a jig for dorado. Super effective. Mike said that worked pretty well. Also, they had 50 mixed bluefin and yellowfin, 30 to 60 pound fish, superior grade of tuna, no question about that. On the flat falls and the West Coast jiggers, 150 to 250 grams, working really, really well. Not all that many yellowtail, but a few nice big ones also on the kelp. So Mike spells it out for you. Thank you, Mike. Can't wait to get on the Sea Adventure 80 with you really, really soon. Your lovely wife, Maggie. I met her the other day on the Malahini. Great person. Can't wait to get out with both of you really, really soon. And thank you for the info. Grande yesterday on a full day trip, leaving in the morning, coming back in the evening. 32 guys, 81 on the Dorado. How can you beat that? The Premier is a half-day boat down there out of H&M, but they went on a full day trip to see if they couldn't come up with a couple of Dorado. They came up with a couple and then 200 more. 200 plus on the Dorado down there. Outstanding fishing. Mission Bell, 18 guys, 7 yellowfin, 5 bluefin, a Dorado to go for them. They were tuna fishing, trying to get that YFT to bite, and there is a lot of it around. So that is looking really, really good. The Chubasco, 3/4 day boat out of Oceanside, good friend of Jolene Thompson, Shannon. Look at that big, gorgeous Dorado. Nice catch for Shannon. Congratulations on that one. Danny and Kim, 2 huge fans of ours. Danny, Kim, good morning. Thank you so much for all you do, your thoughts and prayers for Eddie, and getting out and sharing some of the info with us when you're out fishing. Danny graces the cover of today's morning briefing with a big, beautiful Dorado. He was recently out fishing around the 182, 72.4 degree water all day long. We've got a little bit warmer water, as Danny pointed up in this neck of the woods, and that's why you're seeing some really outstanding fishing. And both Danny and Kim, they just won a new gaff on the Friedman Adventures YouTube live show. That's going to be Tuesday night at 7. Don't forget that. They just won that, and they cannot wait. They said thank you to Anthony, who made it. Anthony Amalfitano, part of the Friedman Adventures family. They can't wait to put that gaff to great use. 8 Dorado, 1 rat yellowtail, smaller yellowtail. Nice fishing. Danny, Kim, thank you for sharing that. Incidentally, on our trip here, leaving Wednesday night, I've got plenty of ops and fluorocarbon. I'll give that to the crew. You want a top shot, they'll tie it on for you. And also quite a bit of blacktail hooks for each and every one of you. I got that all going. Our buffet before departure in the Friedman Adventure studio, 7:30 p.m. We'll have a little buffet. You don't have to worry about dinner when you're leaving. You don't have to stop if you're driving from somewhere. We'll have you covered on that. And I'm thinking we'll go live on Wednesday night so you can meet the folks who are on our trip, as well as partake in the enthusiasm that goes on before one of our trips. Isaac Parcell is so into catching bluefin tuna. There's his new tattoo. I thought I'd share that with you. Back to some more scores. New low end, 2.5 day trip, 72 bluefin tuna. Nice hit for them. 54 on the yellowfin tuna. Nice hit for those guys. Toronado, Pier Point Landing, 200 plus dorado. How's that? El Capitan showing the way with some really good scores. 98 yellowfin tuna, and that YFT is starting to play a more impressive role as we roll into late summer. And when we get into fall, there's going to be yellowfin tuna crawling all over northern Baja and Southern California, maybe even push up to the Channel Islands the way this crazy year is going. I'll tell you, that is not beyond the possibility that I really think that is going to happen. So really good. Now, local boats here up and down the coast. We already mentioned the premier Oceanside with great fishing. Dana Wharf, another huge day yesterday. Let me skip over those guys. They've been killing it down there at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. Now we're back to a Monday, so you'd think maybe the boat pressure will be down. It should be down, and that's only going to help it get better. But still, some tremendous scores. How about what happened on the Freedom? They had 421 dorado and 19 bluefin tuna on a 2-day trip out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. That has got to be one of the biggest scores of dorado in the history of that landing. 421 on the dorado. Tino Valentine and the guys on the Freedom, absolutely a wonderful score. I'm so happy for you. The Native Son also out of 22nd Street Landing, but fishing day trips, limits of dorado on board the Native Son. And we see score after score after score like that. Not for everybody, but you find that right kelp, get in that right zone, it's really good. And they're already catching this morning. I've already had a conversation with a private boater who was there with the fleet, and he said everybody's bit. It's really, really good fishing going on here this morning. Sport King, 80 dorado on the Sport King. What's wrong with that? Western Pride, 88 dorado out of Davies Locker in Newport Beach. Really wonderful fishing going on. And I'll tell you, I don't see an end in sight anytime soon. They're literally, well, I mean, I don't want to get too hyperbolic here. I think there's millions of fish when you look at, if you look at the Baja Coast all the way up here, there's got to be. You'll certainly see thousands on an average day right now. It's really, really incredible. Incidentally, Marcos Garcia is a huge fan. Marcos, thanks for joining us. He wants me to do an episode on proper etiquette on the boats, and I think that's a really, really good idea. How to follow your fish, don't smoke in somebody's face, you know, try to get to know your fellow anglers. I mean, what Marcos is talking about is exactly what we do on a Friedman Adventures trip. That's why we have that buffet before we leave, because everybody gets to know one another, you're on the same team, you're pulling for one another. It's that feeling that you're all in this together. When you have that, you just can't have a bad trip. Whether you catch and don't catch, you're gonna have a lot of fun. And Marcos, I think that's a really good idea. Remind me about that again. But remember, just try to be a decent person when you're on the boat, and you're gonna do just fine. No question about it. So we talked about tackle down there in San Diego, thanks to Mike McDaniels down there on the Sea Adventure 80. However, here locally on these dorado, let me just say this. Sometimes you have to be observant. If the fish are really finicky, especially on a weekend when they're getting pounded by this flotilla that gets on top of them, they get real finicky, and that's when fluorocarbon works really well. Sometimes you can drop down to 15 pound. Marco, the guy that wants me to do the etiquette lesson for you all, Marco dropped down to 15 pound fishing on the Monte Carlo the other day, and some people said, oh, no, that's too light. You don't want to do that. He ended up with 9 dorado. Now, just one shy of a limited dorado. 10 dorado, the limit in U.S. waters. 2 dorado, the limit in Mexican waters. So you can drop down to that if you know what you're doing, especially, and get a bite. Like circle hooks right now. So the blacktail circle hooks are the best by far, and you might want to drop those hook sizes down also. You can fish 20 pound fluoro. Remember, optionusa.com, put in FA at checkout. Remember, you can get a bite on that 20 pound. And then if it's fired up and they are biting full speed and you're catching 421 dorado as they did on the Freedom, they're biting dead bait. You can take a bait, stomp on it on the deck and throw it out there with 60 pound and get a bite. So you've got to gauge the ferocity of the bite. And if it's not that ferocious, then you can go to that light stuff. If it is, you can also go to some heavier stuff. Incidentally, don't miss that skip, jig, dorado fishing video that we have for you. I mean, a lot of guys will tell you, and I should say this right now, keeping Marcos in mind, doing or throwing the iron with dorado fishing can be really dangerous because they are, you know how they are. They're wild. They come on the deck, they kick that jig out, it pulls out when you're trying to bounce them. It can be a problem. So you really have to know what you're doing. Get the crew's approval before you do it, and then be really, really careful. Keep that in mind. Redondo Special had good rock fishing. They had a dorado yesterday. That's how crazy that whole situation is. So really phenomenal fishing going on right now. Let me take you down and cover the islands right now, which nobody has any interest in. But down there in Ensenada, we are seeing some really good fishing, especially there at Todos Santos Island. A lot of yellows have flooded into that zone. They're biting really well. There's a little bit of barracuda, good calico fishing. Coronado Islands, what can I tell you? Any other year, that would be the talk of the town. There's been outstanding yellowtail action going on there. Really phenomenal. Tons of yellows. A lot of that fish 15 to 25 pounds. It's a great grade of fish, and it's biting. And then just a few miles outside of there, you've got outstanding tuna possibilities. Some of the guys on their overnight trips are going out there really close, a couple hours away from Point Loma, shutting down at night and having some phenomenal nighttime fishing. Incidentally, Tuesday, Wednesday, when we have that wind, you're going to want to have some heavier knife jigs. Most of the time we're talking 250 at the most, but you might want to bring some heavier stuff along with you. Nothing less than a 200-pound leader. I suggest 300-pound at least. That's what I like to see you fish with, so you don't get bit off on a trophy size BFT. Nighttime boats out there around San Clemente Island are thumping on the bluefin tuna, and there's some daytime fishing, especially toward the afternoon. It has been phenomenal. Can't wait to get out there on this Amigo trip and give that a try. We are really looking forward to that. And remember, 30 to 40 pound fluoro when you're fishing in the daytime, catching 25 to 50 pound grade fish, knife jigs at night. It seems like if the forecast holds on our Amigo trip, you're going to be fishing that 250 because we're going to leave in some breezy weather on Wednesday night, and we are going to arrive in some flat, calm seas. And then we're going to have 2 days of that. I don't know what happened. Normally, I pick really windy days as the people have been joining us lately. So thank you, Lord. Thank you very, very much for this. It really is looking fantastic. And then Channel Islands, good rock fishing up there. Some of those boys are seeing dorado in their local waters also, so that looks good. Corvina fishing in the coast, yellowfin croaker, halibut on the Lucky Craft type lures. It's been great surf fishing here recently. I'm going to give it a shot in the morning tomorrow before the morning briefing. Well, I should put that, I don't know. I always want to get this out ASAP to you, so I'll make a decision, but I'm going to hit this. It looks way too appetizing right now. All right, I don't know what to tell you. We got so much going on. Remember the family in Mexicali who lost their home due to a lightning strike? They hit a transformer and burned up their trailer. They lost their dog. They had 2nd and 3rd degree burns. Remember we were going to send down some stuff to them? It got there, and they're so grateful to you. Greg Bates, Israel de la Cruz, who sent money down to this family in need. People that Israel and Greg don't even know. And all of the clothing and stuff that you've been donating, well, Ali Lopez took that down there, presented it to the family. Thank you for all your help. Danny and Kim, who were talking about the 8 dorado they caught, they're putting together some stuff to be donated because we're going to do a big event on January the 6th next year, which is Dia de Reyes, or Feast of the Epiphany. So thank you. I mean, you made a difference in this family's life. Anybody who donated, anybody who sent prayers, it's all deeply appreciated. Friedman Adventure, family making an impact in the world, and especially to our brothers and sisters in Mexico, and all of the great fishing venues through all of the great years that we have been able to fish. It's a small way to say thank you. Incidentally, we're going to have to make this happen. The kids in that family in Mexicali have never been fishing before, and they are dying to make a fishing trip. When they recover from their burns and everything else, So we got to do something. Israel, you got to be there. Greg, you got to be there. Whoever else wants to be there, we got to do this in Ensenada. We can get them to Ensenada and do a trip. That's going to be off in the future a little bit more. All right, Mike McDaniel, Sea Adventure 80, thank you so much for helping us out. Prayers for Eddie Leland. Really appreciate that. Can't wait to see you all Wednesday night. It's going to be a great one on board the Amigo. Go to the show description and you'll find more trips that you can check out and join us on. Only 3 more. And those 2-day Pride trips out of 22nd are selling out, and for good reason. Those guys have been all over the fish this year, and those are going to be great trips. Hopefully this weather is going to continue to be nice, with the exception of wind on Tuesday and Wednesday. Prayers for Eddie Leland, deeply appreciate it. And our soaring statistics, can't thank you enough. All right, everybody, have a great day. Get out, catch some fish, enjoy the great outdoors. We are so fortunate here in SoCal and Northern Baja to have this kind of fishing. I'll see you again really, really soon. Have a lovely start to your week.